Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, as you can see by the title, is another episode of 10 years ago. Now tonight we're going to be looking at WrestleMania X8, or WrestleMania 18 to you and me. Why they called it X7 and this one X8, no idea. Not a clue. Now normally with 10 years ago we will go through some of the build up to this, to some of the match, to what's happening. But this one I'm just going to go through 3 of the matches. There's so much to get through. Isn't there 10 matches on this card? Might even be 12. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of matches to get through. We are talking about this one. Look, it's so good. I bought it on DVD. Now, the thing about this one is this is a great DVD because it's double disc and it's got both discs are absolutely stuffed full of extras, which is really, really good. So, let's talk about Rock versus Hogan. Build up to that one was one of my favourite moments in wrestling. On the same night, they managed to spoil it by having one of my least favourite moments in wrestling. You see, Hulk Hogan, the night after No Way Out, came out and cut a promo where he talked about how the WWF made Hulk Hogan, but he also talked about how the fans turned on him and drove him out of the WWF. He mentioned how he's the biggest star, past, present or future. There'll never be a star as big as Hulk Hogan, and at that exact moment, The Rock's music hit, and The Rock came out and cut an absolutely stellar promo. What a promo, right? To this day, I still get chills when The Rock says, Hogan, you've headlined, you talk about headlining WrestleMania after WrestleMania after WrestleMania. Well, how do you feel about headlining one last WrestleMania with The Rock? Gets up in his face. Hairs on my arm stand up every time I fucking see that shit. An incredible moment, but I felt that they spoiled it later that night by having Rock, in that segment, Rock was attacked, by the NWO and beaten down with a wrench. He was loaded into an ambulance, and then Hogan drove a semi-truck into that ambulance in a let's try and kill The Rock. So you just had this amazing segment, and then I felt like they spoiled it quite a lot. Rock did a stretchy job and all that, and it just felt ridiculous because they had this match set up there, right, where Rock challenging Hogan, and they had everything all right, and they didn't need to add the sports entertainment angle to it. It's kind of how like they're doing with Punk and Jericho at the moment. They've got this match where everyone cares about. This past week on Raw, you had Jericho mentioning that Punk's dad was an alcoholic, and I felt they didn't need to add that element to it. It makes it feel very sports entertainment-esque. What do you think? Anyway, another match that we've got a lot of build-up was Undertaker versus Flair. This is an interesting one because basically it was Undertaker challenging Flair over and over and over again, and he was saying no, 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 no. So Undertaker beat the shit out of Arn Anderson, busted him open and all that, and then went to the WWF's training school and beat the living shit out of David Flair, who of course had last been seen on TV as quite a sizable part of WCW, and he was completely ignored during the invasion, and now he's just some trainee. That made me chuckle. Yeah, I'll talk about that match more later on, I've got to be honest. And of course there was the Triple H and Jericho stuff. Just want to quickly touch on this and then we'll get on with that, I promise. Wow. Basically, right, No Way Out, as we saw, Kurt Angle defeated Triple H to win the #1 contendership for the championship. Next night on Raw, Ric Flair makes it Angle versus Triple H once again, but Stephanie is banned from ringside, barred from ringside. Predictably, Triple H wins the match and is the #1 contender. The rest of the time from that match, right, until the main event of WrestleMania itself, pretty much focused on Triple H and Stephanie's divorce and all that was happening with that. You had Triple H, they went to getting 50% each of all the assets, so Triple H cut one of their cars in half and gave one of the halves to Stephanie, things like that. And of course the absolute highlight of all this was Triple H's dog Lucy was brought up in all this, and Stephanie managed to get the dog. The only time this has ever been mentioned, by the way. So on one of the episodes of Raw, you had Jericho walking the dog. Yay! That's a way to build up a pay-per-view, isn't it? Should we get on with it? Because, like I say, there's a lot to get through on this show. Excuse me, let me just have a quick gulp of milk. Hope you've noticed, ladies and gentlemen, this video is being presented to you in HD. I hope that all my vids are in HD from now on. I took some teething trouble to find out what I could do. This camera records in HD, yeah, but the video files are so fucking big that I needed a way to compress them. I've now figured out how to do that. Hasn't lost any of the quality. Win, everyone's happy. So what do we get? We don't get America the Beautiful, because we're not in America. We're in Canada. We are in Toronto. We get Saliva kicking off their show. They play a song, I don't know what it is. We then get a really, really good video package where various wrestlers talk about what WrestleMania means to them. It's still to this day a brilliant, brilliant bit. Opening match. RVD defeating William Regal in an okay match to win the Intercontinental Championship. So this is the second year on the bounce that William Regal has not only been in the opening contest, but the opening contest has been for the Intercontinental Championship. This match is alright. It's not even, actually, no, it's I was going to say it's okay, it's not even that, it's pretty poor to be honest. I mean, it's a star-and-a-half match. It's got some botches in it. It's got some really nice stuff from Regal. Regal hits a really nice powerbomb. He also hits an absolutely ridiculous half Nelson suplex. RVD is sloppy as normal. I've never been a massive Rob Van Dam fan. Somehow both men get busted open in the mouth. Not really sure why. RVD, basically the whole match is Regal, and the story is that he's trying to get his brass knocked, the power of the punch that he's been using for ages. He starts off, within the first couple of minutes he gets some knocks out, but the referee takes them, and the finish is basically he tries to use the knocks, but the referee, RVD kicks them out of his hand and hits the frog splash for the win. It's a star-and-a-half. It only goes 6 minutes 19 as well, which I thought was way... One of the problems with this whole show, despite how long it is the matches really don't get very timed. Maybe it's because fucking Saliva and Drowning Pool, who I'll talk about in a second, play lots of times over the course of the show. Maybe the matches could have been a bit longer if they hadn't had that on it. Nah, what do I know? So, next up was DDP defeating Christian in, again, a very similar match to retain the European Championship. This, again, way too short. It's 6:10 this one. This one's 9 whole seconds shorter. I mean, as a match, right? If this match was on, it's like the first match and this match. If they'd been on Raw, you would have said, yeah, this was an alright match. But because it's not only on a pay-per-view, but because it's at WrestleMania, the so-called biggest show of the year, they're just not very good. Christian, had taken. He had having these temper tantrums and took DDP on. DDP took him under his wing. Made him positively paid. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And all that shite that DDP did that didn't need to do and didn't get over in the slightest. Both finishes are countered, and basically in the end, a diamond cutter pretty much out of nowhere. I mean, This is what I'm saying about it being so short. 6 minutes of action, back and forth, and you felt like it's just starting to get a nice head of steam onto it, and Diamond Cutter out of nowhere gets the win. You're like, right, okay. Good to see the IC title and the European title, I suppose, being defended on the booking pay-per-view. When was the last time the IC title was defended on WrestleMania in a meaningful match? Before you say the stuff with Rey Mysterio and JBL, because I know that was the IC title being defended on pay-per-view. At WrestleMania, but come on, in a meaningful match at WrestleMania, in the European title, as much as I didn't like it, it was good to see it on the pay-per-view. Anyway, in the back, The Rock gets coached to say his prayers in a truly hilarious segment. I could do impressions or run it down for you, just go and watch it. Rock Coleman, Rock Coachman, idiot, WrestleMania 18, go and check it out, it's really quite wonderful. Next, Spike Dudley won the Hardcore title in a match that he wasn't even in. This match, to me, epitomises what was wrong with the Hardcore Championship. The match itself was Maven Vs Goldust. It was wank, it was just weapon hits and not very good ones at that. And then Spike Dudley came out of nowhere and pinned Goldust to win the pinned Maven, to win the championship. He then legged it off with Goldust and Maven and Crash Holly in Hot Pursuit. Lovely. Then Drowning Pool performed a song, which is nice. It took fecking ages. Not a big fan of Drowning Pool. Bodies is a great tune, don't get me wrong, but this one, what they were playing, I don't care. And the thing is, this song was billed as to tell the story of tonight's main event. It's like, right, I really don't give a shit. In the back, Spike Dudley and Crash Holly brawl. Al Snow gets on a golf cart and drives through some cardboard boxes. Oh, the hilarity. Stop it. My sides are splitting. Oh, yes. But then Hurricane swings in with a sound effect, kicks Spike Dudley, pins him, wins the championship. Hooray! Yay! I love the hardcore title. Next, Kurt Angle defeated Kane in a 2.5 star match. We got zero build-up package for this. So bear in mind that this is 10 years ago. I've not a clue why these two are fighting. Now, the JR and the King talk about head trauma a lot in the match, so you've got to guess that something to do with head trauma is something to do with it. But like I say, with the absence of package, it literally goes from Hurricane getting the pin to Kurt Angle's music, and that's it. There's no, this is why this match is happening. There's nothing at all. So that bothers me. The match is the match is alright, apart, I mean, there's some botching there, especially the finish. The finish is a roll-up by Angle on the biggest show of the year. Kane hit a nice enziguri, but he also, oh man, he didn't do some, they did a finisher sequence that was alright. I mean, at one point, Kane really made me mark out by hitting a tilt-a-whirl power slam, which was so gorgeous. And Angle made me mark out when he hit a version of Kane's flying elbow off the top rope, which looked really good. He went to do it again and walked into a chokeslam, which is funny. Yeah, but the match was 10:51, so again, it was a bit too short for my liking. 2.5 stars is where I went with this one. In the back, the Hurricane spies on the Godfather's hose, and as you can probably imagine, hilarity ensures, because in the shadow, he's still behind some sort of screen. He turns around, he's obviously, there's a broom there. It looks like he has the world's longest but thinnest penis. Next, oh yeah, it was hilarious. The Undertaker defeated Ric Flair in an utterly shit no disqualification match. I remember this match being really good, but it really wasn't. I'll tell you why. This match was a glorified squash, alright? I've got a whole page of notes here, because even though I'm doing these as thoughts, I still write out the matches in case, I want to talk about them. This one, though, really don't need to, because this is just The Undertaker beating the living shit out of Flair. This is a glorified squash match. And the thing about this match is it doesn't make any sense. Bear in mind what I was talking about at the start of the show, yeah? Undertaker beat up Ric Flair's best friend in Arn Anderson. He then beat up Ric Flair's son, David Flair. But in the match, he gets the living shit kicked out of him and then loses. Oh my god, that doesn't make any sense. Wrestling 101 would surely decree that Flair gets the win here. If someone beats up your best mate and someone beats up your son, someone costs your job. Because the thing I didn't mention before is, because Flair said that he'd fight The Undertaker, the board of directors removed him as the co-owner of fucking WWE and gave full control to Vince. So he cost him everything, and he still lost. What does that say about Flair? I mean, as a fan, how are you meant to get behind someone if that's the case? You've got all these obstacles placed in front of you, and you still lose. Maybe that's just me, looks good. Oh my god. Right, the finish, check this one out, right? Taker goes for the last ride, but can't get Ric Flair up properly, so has to drop him and pick him up and tombstone him. That was funny. This one again, though, remember how I've talked about how short all the matches have been? This one, 18 minutes, which was, in classic style, 8 minutes too long. Give the fucking those 8 minutes. Take 4 minutes, add them to the opener and the European Championship match. Hooray, everyone's happy, but no. This one, 18 minutes and 45 seconds. Some people like this. A guy I was talking to on Facebook chat last night told me that this one's match of the night. Don't quite understand how that one works, but this to me is a 1-star match. It's hard because I remember this match being so good, but it really wasn't. Really wasn't. Speaking of things that weren't very good at all, and were 1 star, Edge defeated Booker T in an absolute crap match. There is a sign in the crowd directly on the hard camera in yellow that says they're fighting over shampoo. Ladies and gentlemen, that sign says more about this match than I could ever say. The match is utterly crap, and the fact they're feuding over something so worthless, so meaningless, so I can't invest in that. I'm meant to cheer Edge because he got the shampoo commercial. Good for you, Edge, well done. I'm meant to boo Booker T because he didn't get it. I don't care. I really am just not interested at all. Match is 1 star. The crowd are apart from when Edge comes out, because of course it's in Canada. Edge comes out and gets a decent pop. Apart from that, the rest of the match is utterly silent. Even when Edge does a spinneroonie, and it's awful. Oh, why did people think that they could do a spinneroonie at the best of times? Oh man. Man, it's bad. Anyway, 1 star. Next. Wow. In the back, Molly turns on the Hurricane. Mighty Molly turns on the Hurricane. She wins the Hardcore Championship. Yay! Bring back the Hardcore title, people say all the fucking time to me. All the time they say, one thing the WWE needs, they need to bring back the Hardcore title. I just sit there thinking to myself, oh, you poor, poor person, really don't need to bring back the Hardcore Championship. The Hardcore Championship would have been reduced, to this. Hardcore title had 4 months left of existence, and this was like, it would just become a joke to the writers, you know, so why should I invest emotionally into it? Next, wow, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Scott Hall in a really piss-poor match. Really piss-poor. Austin controlled the first part, and then Scott Hall sent the crowd to sleep in doing the heel part of the match. Kevin Nash was out with them, yay. There was a ref bump. This match was overbooked to absolute hell. And this is one match that was, 9:51 was the perfect amount of time for it. Yeah, ref bumps all over the shop. Stunners for Hall, stunners for Nash, you know, all that jazz. Stunner for Austin, but there's no referee. And then 2 massive stunners get the win for Austin. The second one especially was fucking huge. Hall sold it well. It's a 1.5 stars. That's it for Hall's good matches, or, you know, usefulness in the WWF, you know. This match was meant to, of course, been Stone Cold versus Hogan. We all know that, but Hogan basically refused to lose to Austin. He lost to Rock. You can only assume that he lost to The Rock because he'd been promised a championship. That's all I can think of, because, of course, he won it next month at Backlash. But, yeah, Austin wouldn't lay down for Hogan. Hogan wouldn't lay down for Austin, and so it was never going to happen. I don't think it ever will happen, ever. And that was, so this is what we got instead. Stone Cold in the mid-card, not near the top, in the mid-card against Hall. Yay. Nash apparently, according to this box, Nash is the special enforcer on the outside. But when I was watching this a couple of hours ago, it didn't say anything about that. Basically, Austin comes to the ring first, gets the obligatory massive pop. Hall comes out, gets halfway down the ramp and starts doing this. And both JR and King have no idea why he's doing it. So it's not like part of the match is, oh yeah, Nash is going to be the special enforcer. He just comes out with Hall, where according to the box, he's the special enforcer. That doesn't make much sense, does it? Oh, dear me. 9:51 this one went, like I say. Next. Oh man, tag team title match. Billy and Chuck defeating the APA, the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys in a crap match, another 1.5 star match, elimination rules match to retain the tag team champions. In another one of those, oh come on, Saliva play the Dudley Boys to the ring. Yay! Oh, I don't care. Nothing around this time said more about the lack of depth in the tag team championship division between No Way Out and this show. Remember, you had the number 1 contenders tag team turmoil match at No Way Out. You had this match. They're pretty much the same teams. Don't mention there's another one of those matches where there's no build-up package at all. So you don't know how it's gone right. Let's just think back to No Way Out for a second. The APA won the tag team turmoil match to become number 1 contenders, yeah. And on that same show, Taz and Spike Dudley retained the tag team titles against Booker T and Test. But there's no build-up package, so you've no idea how Bill and Chuck won the tag team championships, bearing in mind that they weren't the number 1 contenders last time we watched the pay-per-view. And also, how the other teams came to being in this match. It just is one of those things that just makes 0 sense. But yeah, this match, like I say, it just exposes the depth, the lack of depth that they had in the tag team division. The eliminations went like this. Bradshaw hit a ridiculously large clothesline from hell on Billy Gunn, but then walks into a 3D to eliminate the APA at 3 minutes 25, which, of course, cynical fan Mark P just goes, so what was the fucking point in having the APA in this match at all? Maybe that's just me. Match plays to virtual silence, right? I have to point that out. Twisted Fate and Swanton are enough to eliminate Bubba at 11:48, and then a belt shot by Billy on Jeff Hardy gets the win at 13 minutes and 50 seconds. Match was crap. I would say, right, the thing about this match, and you know, I'm talking about how the lack of depth is, yeah. I would sit there and say that, listen, they need to do something with these teams. An obvious one for me would be turning the Hardy Boys heel. I mean, they tried to do the heel split, didn't they, of Matt turning heel on Jeff at at Vengeance. Didn't really work, so I've just have the team become heels, have the Dudley Boys turn face, because think about it, then they can start doing all the moves like the WhatsApp and the get the tables, and yeah, you've got Stephanie, Jesus, Mark, you've got Stacey Keebler with you, no one has ever got a problem cheering for that girl, have they? But no, I don't need to say anything about that, do it, because of course 2 weeks after this show was the draft. And that did it for me. Hey. Next, in the back, the NWO plot against The Rock, saying that Austin got lucky, apparently. And then, but Hogan calls him off. And then Mighty Molly is trying to escape with her Hardcore Championship, but she walks into a door and is pinned by Christian. Who fucking Ray? Next. Might go through this one verbatim. In fact, I think I will. Rock versus Hogan. Sorry about the milk, by the way, I've got a really sore throat. Rock defeated Hogan in a match. This is one of those matches where I feel like if I say it's great, I'm going to get heat, and if I say it's bad, I'm going to get heat. So, yeah, I can't win in this situation. But anyway, yeah, I've got 2 pages of exactly how everything went down. So we'll go through that show, because I haven't done it for this match, and then the other 2 matches I've just given you my thoughts for. So, Hogan gets a truly massive pop as he comes out. In hindsight, we should surely have seen this coming quite a long way away. 2 things make me think that. The first one is Backlash 2000. It was Kurt Angle versus the Big Slow, and the Big Slow came out as the showster in full Hogan gear, and he was so ridiculously over. The pops that he got from it were fantastic. Also, earlier on in the night, when he just saw Hogan plotting with his NWO brothers, a massive cheer went up. And also, when you think about it, it's like WCW was never that popular in Canada, as far as I'm led to believe. So, the whole NWO thing never happened there. They've just been waiting for Hogan to come back to the WWF, you know? Anyway, matches billed as the wrestling's past versus wrestling future, well, that just wasn't true. In the same way that this is something I've been saying for a while now. If you've got Hogan versus Rock wrestling's past, wrestling's future, very similar to the Rock versus Cena thing, in that Cena's already the made guy. He doesn't need the rub off the guy. Of course, the thing with the Rock versus Hogan is wrestling's future. Rock is wrestling's future. How many times did Rock wrestle, be it on TV, house shows, pay-per-view, after this fucking show? 20, 30 times, if you include house shows and TV shows. 20, 30 times, I reckon, since then. He's wrestling's future. No, he just wasn't. But anyway, that's just me. This match is going to last, is what I've got on my notes as well. This should have been the main event. Absolutely definite. So, come on, let's get on with it. Hogan gets the better of a lock-up, and the crowd goes absolutely fucking batshit. Hogan poses to keep it going. He then works a long headlock and a shoulder tackle. He poses again to a huge pop. He continues the offense with a clothesline, but Rock hits one of his own to big chorus of boos. He then tells Hogan to bring it, which also gets booed. What does that say? Punches, and Hogan is meant to go over the top rope, but he just can't get over, so he drops down and goes under the rope. First botch of the evening, and it's one of those things that watching this back, when you watch it on the night, you wouldn't have even noticed that. On watching it back, you're like, oh god. Oh, Hogan does the offense thing, like, yeah, when he goes on the offense and does a back rake, when Rock sells that, you're just like, oh, this just looks horrible, you know. This is the thing about Hogan, right? As a nostalgic thing for one night only, this was fantastic. A month later, they put the championship on him. No one gave a fuck. They really, really didn't. They sort of went for the strike while the iron's hot sort of deal, didn't they, with Hogan? Like, they could see that he was getting all these big cheers, but they didn't. It was all nostalgic. People actually didn't want to see him as champion at all. It was just, oh my god, we haven't seen Hogan for years, sort of thing, wasn't it? Anyway, that's me going off on a tangent. Inside a Rock lariat, Rock gets a lariat, but Rock bomb is countered. Backdrop suplex gets 2 for Hogan, who follows with an abdominal stretch. He back rakes Hogan, which Rock sells. Like I just wouldn't have sold it personally, but yeah, okay. They have a chop battle before Hogan almost spears Rock and chokes him with the wrist tape. They go outside where the announce table was prepped, but unusually it's not used. Rock gets a chair, goes to use it, but Hogan counters with a clothesline after the referee takes the chair off him. Inside, the ref is bump, spine buster, and the Scorpion King deathlock by Rock, but there's no referee. Dear me. And of course, that gets a lot of boos when the Scorpion King deathlock goes on. Hogan bottom gets 2. He takes off his weightlifting belt and whips Rock with it. Rock comes back, does a Rock bottom. Sorry, that's a line ahead. Rock hits a DDT and then he uses the bell and a rock bomb, but it only gets 2 as Hulk starts to Hulk up in one of those things. Right, Rock says he's a Hulkamaniac. Surely he knows. This is the whole suspension of disbelief thing properly, isn't it? Because surely anyone by this stage, yeah, I haven't watched Hogan for 20 years, as soon as you start punching him and he starts hulking up, just get out of the ring. Why did no one ever do that? Why didn't you just get out of the ring and go on? I know what you're going to do. Now you've hulked up. Now all your Hulk energy's gone. Fuck it. Anyway, big boot and the leg drop of doom only gets 2 and the crowd can't believe it. Another big boot, but the leg drop misses. 2 rock bottoms and then, this is weird, man. Rock bottom 1, big chorus of boos. Rock bottom 2, big chorus of boos. Rock kips up, sets up the people's elbow, place goes mental. In one of those, that doesn't make any sense. People's elbow, 1, 2, 3, and Rock is your winner! And this is where it gets tricky. Because, as an actual contest, this match wasn't actually very good. It doesn't look very good at all. I've shouted on this match a lot over the years, and I stand by what I say about it. As a match, it's not very good. But, and this is the big, massive slash through the middle but, yeah? As a spectacle, this is really good. Because the crowd make it. And this is what I'm expecting Rock and Cena to be like at this year's WrestleMania. You know, as a match, I'm not expecting much out of it. I'm expecting as a spectacle, the crowd will make it, especially it being in Rock's hometown of Miami. NWO attack Hulk Hogan after the bell. Rock makes a save. There's your Backlash main event. What? That wasn't the Backlash. They did it 2 weeks later on... Oh, fuck it. Threw away all the money by doing it on Raw, clearly. And then Hogan poses, and yeah, they shake hands, and everything's all nice between them. And can you imagine what the Rock's saying? It's like, no, sorry, Hogan's saying, sorry for running you over with that fucking truck, and Rock's going, hey, it's alright, don't worry, like, we're best pals now. No? Jazz defeated Trish, Stratus and Lita in an absolutely horrible triple threat match to retain the championship. All these poor women. Not only do they have to go on after Rock versus Hogan, which means that there's going to be absolutely 0 crowd, they have to wrestle Lita, who I truly believe is one of the worst women's wrestlers there ever was. Her punches especially are just fucking terrible. A Jazz Stinger, after a quite respectable 6 minutes, gets the win for Jazz. In the back, in the mercifully the last of these backstage segments, Christian makes it to a taxi cab, but it is attacked by Maven, so Maven ends the show with the Hardcore Championship, just the way he started. Oh dear Lord. And in the main event, Triple H defeated Chris Jericho in a very, very predictable and actually quite good and best match of the night, in my opinion. Match to win the WWF Undisputed Championship. Drowning Pool make their 2nd appearance of the night, which means it's our 4th live performance of the night. Way too many. And they played their awful version of the game so that Triple H can make his way to the ring. Oh man, right. This match, no, right, first thing first, as I said, this match and the Rock Hogan match shouldn't have been in the place they were, should have been in the opposite places. Crowd don't care about this match at all. I love in-ring psychology, as you know, right? Triple H's leg obviously was injured, the quad injury and all that. So Chris Jericho spends the entire match working the leg, pretty much. He does some nice stuff. He does the round the ring figure 4 and everything. The problem is crowd don't give a fuck. And what in one of those things where psychology is good until it doesn't make sense. Yeah, the finish has the leg being injured has no factor in the finish whatsoever, so it's actually not really very good because it isn't beneficial in any way. Anyway, that's just me, isn't it? Nitpicking again. Yeah, pedigree on... it says a lot when a pedigree on Steph gets so little reaction as it does here. You know? That says it. I think that says it all to me. This match, though, in my opinion, is a 3-star match because there are some good stuff in it. It's just the crowd hurt it a lot. I mean, a lot. And the thing about this WrestleMania, this is an average WrestleMania full of average matches. As the self-proclaimed granddaddy of them all, the biggest show of the year, this doesn't deliver at all, in my opinion. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. Honestly, because it, like I say, average. There's some crap in there. There's some 1-star. In fact, there's quite a few 1-stars, is there not? Matches just some matches are just so bad. There's nothing really, apart from Rock Hogan, which once you've seen once, won't ever get better than the night you saw it. I guarantee the first time you saw that will be the best time you ever see that match. I swear to you. Apart from that, there's no reason to go out of your way to watch this WrestleMania at all. And it's hardest for me because it's sandwiched between 17 and 19, which of course are the my two favourite WrestleManias. So there's this one in the middle which just makes you, Last WrestleMania of the WWF era as well. Interesting that, isn't it? And that's why I think 4.5 out of 10. I would love to know what you thought of this WrestleMania. Let me know down here, and I would like to know if you like the HD and if it's all working right. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like and favourite this video. I've been Mark P. Add me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter if you really want to, but I never use it. And yeah, I will see you all very soon. Take it easy, guys. Bye bye.